it really like improved on it. Definitely the my pronunciation, like you said, I definitely learned the pronunciation, and
うん。
but definitely just gotta like keep going at it and
う
just
ん。
don't give up. Thank you for taking the time to teach me Japanese. Yeah, you guys have been awesome, great help. Yeah, definitely like a lot of the times above and beyond like what I expected. So it's been really great. 私の名前はブランドンです。私の名字はジョンソンです。私の出身はミシシッピ州のウェインズボーです。
うん。
アメリカ、アメリカの南にあります。
うん。
アメリカ海軍、アメリカ海軍です。
うん。
この仕事は
うん。
簡単じゃないけど、やる価値があります。
おお、すごい。
次、ケチで働いています。自分でエケコツです。自分にエケコツです。
うん。うん。趣味趣味ですか？
趣味は自分にエケコツです。
うん。いいですね。
自分ではセンターのアプリ使ってエクササイズをします。
うん。うんうんうん。
自分で一緒にエクササイズできる友達を探しています。
うん。あ、いいですね。
こっちの皆さんとてるみさん、日本語を教えてくれてありがとうございました。
あら、素晴らしい。ありがとうございます。
My first impression of Brandon San was that he's like kind, very kind, but very quiet. But and also like when we started like first lesson, like he just moved to Japan. I mean, like he has lived for like only 6 months. So like he couldn't even say like a greeting, or he couldn't even say his name as a like Japanglish way. So like yeah, I was very supported. I was very excited to support him. He did a lot of practice. I could see that, and then like, but still like, yeah, it was first time for him to study another languages. So of course he had like a really difficult time, like especially like his pronunciation is quite still like American accent. So that's why I wanted him to speak like a native way. That's why we practice a lot of like pronunciation.
So my first impression for Brandonson would be, I would say he was a little shy, but also mellow and a quiet and a kind person. Right. So section 3, we focused on like having a conversation. We try to speak Japanese only throughout the course. So that's sometimes, you know, he doesn't understand certain words, so I had to explain in English. And also he was struggling the pronunciation a little bit. So we really practice on larirurero, the pronunciation. We mainly focused on that, and I think he improved so much. Yes, so I've watched a couple of day one, or even his introduction video, and at the time he couldn't speak any Japanese. He barely said konnichiwa, but in the section 3 course, he could understand and also say a lot of introduction sentences, and he started asking questions in Japanese, even a greetings like konnichiwa, o genki desu ka, like how are you? Yeah, I was really happy about it, that you know, he's now really engaging and trying to ask questions like that. I think so. As Brando-san got very confident about like how he speaks and how he responds to my questions, and my motivation also increased. So it was like a good like we were kind of like influencing each other. I was trying to like praise him, and I told him that he was doing amazing job trying to memorize, practice the larirurero sounds, and So that like whole the process was very efficient and productive, and also made me a better coach, I would say, because I was trying to help him, and we were kind of helping each other in a way. So yeah, I think this I think so.
I guess just knowing what to say in a specific situation. Yeah, just like not just like forget the word. Like a lot of the times, like I kind of have a good idea of what to say, and then like in actual conversation, I just forget it all, and I'm like searching my brain, like, hey, what's the Japanese word for that? Watashi wa Brandon to yande kudasai. Watashi no shushin wa Mississippi Su no Waynesboro desu. Watashi wa Benkyou Nihongo Watashi no shushin wa Mississippi Shu no Waynesboro desu. America no Minami ni arimasu.
Perfect.
Have you ever used any phrase in the real situation?
Yes, I've used a couple. For like a lot of people, they like to ask like, hey, where do you work, where do you live, that kind of thing. So yeah, I had to like tell them, like I had to speak a little Japanese. Like I went to shrines this past weekend, went to museum, and so I had to speak a little bit of Japanese too.
Amazing. So let me know about you, and everybody wants to know about you. And so can you tell me why you start living in Japan?
For work, I work here, and I always enjoyed being in Japan. Been here a couple times.
Before living in Japan, you already have been to Japan?
Before living in Japan this time, yes, I lived in Sasebo before for 2 years. And before that, just a couple visits.
I see. And then, so total, how long are you living in Japan?
Like combining all of that. Yeah, after this time, combining all of that, maybe like 5 years and some months, and maybe longer if I can get another station in Japan.
I see. So why you like Japan? You know, what is something fascinating to you?
Safe. Yeah, it's very safe. It's a lot of places to go see. Like I went shrine. I went to see shrines this past weekend, and a couple of sightseeing. Did a lot of sightseeing, and it was really good. Yeah, went on a pretty almost intense hike. It wasn't that intense, but it was almost pretty intense. So I like that. Very like photogenic country. Like it's easy to take like amazing pictures.
I see. And then so during these 5 years, what is something that it was difficult without Japanese speaking skill? What was the difficulties for you in general?
Yeah, without the Japanese speaking skill, it's just about like everything. Like it's like a lot of like embarrassing incidents and
embarrassing incidents. What's happened? What did you experience?
Well, really, the thing that comes to mind right now is like I went to I checked into a hotel, realized later that it was a hot springs hotel. So, and I'm walking through, and I didn't realize I was supposed to take my shoes off, and it's like clunk, 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 and everybody's. And I'm like, why are they staying? And then I realized that I was supposed to take my shoes off, and then I guess I didn't like tie the robe the way that it was supposed to be tied, and some like random Japanese lady just stopped me and started like tying my robe, and I'm like, what is going on? But it was Yeah.
I see. That was in the beginning of life in Japan.
That was the last time. Yeah, that was a couple years ago.
Okay, okay. I see, I see. So you said that you are living in Japan, you feel safe in Japan. So which state are you from?
I'm from Mississippi in the
Oh,
States.
yeah, you said in Japanese in the presentation. So Mississippi, or you living now, it's a Kanagawa prefecture?
Yes, I live in Kanagawa.
What is the biggest difference for you? I mean, the person in the United States never really been to Japan, and to tell them what is the biggest difference.
Well, mostly here, like people tend to keep to themselves, kind of. That's the major difference between the states. Yeah, like in the states, you might have like the people around you. They might have all kinds of things going on. They might be on drugs, or you just never know. So, yeah, so it's just crazy. But here, here you really don't have to worry about being like heckled or bothered if as long as you're not like doing anything crazy or anything. But here, like nobody bothers you if you just go about your business. That's really cool, really nice.
Right. And then what about Japanese culture? I mean, culture in the States and the culture in Japan is very different for sure. Is it difficult for you, this, culture difference?
Oh yes, I mean it can be. It's not always. Like I really admire the culture sometimes. Like it's yeah, it can be very difficult, especially like things seem to happen a lot slower here, and kind of everything seems to be like a very complicated multi-step process here compared to the States. Like it's something as simple as getting your driver's license or getting a house or something. Like it's like way too complicated. Probably a lot more paperwork than there would be in the States. So.
I see, I see. And so what is actually the future plan now? You want to live in Japan, or what is the best scenario for you
I
in
would
the
like
future?
maybe I would like to see if I could like maybe live in Japan. Like yeah, I've definitely considered it. Maybe because I want to like travel a lot. Once because I retire soon. Well, not soon, not nearly soon enough, but in 4 years I retire. I kind of want to do some traveling. Maybe make Japan my home base.
That's great.
See if I can, yeah, see what I can do out here.
Great, great. So if you're gonna actually stay longer, and then what do you actually want to try? Because living in Japan and living in United States, very different lifestyle. Something you can find here, it's more easily. If you go back to the States, difficult to find something, let's say like a martial arts, for example. So many people like martial arts in the States, but also you can try the real martial arts in Japan, for example. What do you actually want to try, and then what do you want to experience in Japan?
Yes, I would definitely like to try martial arts here. There's like there's like a couple of gyms out here, and I've never really like been able to. I've never really been comfortable with going there and like and trying to see if like I can get in or speak enough Japanese to get in. But I would like to do that. I like to like basically do a lot more sightseeing, which I think there's always going to be something to see. So that's really good.
Amazing. And so about the Japanese language, so you said it's total 5 years already you live in Japan, and then during this master course you finally like start really seriously learning Japanese. What was this experience like? What is the difficulties for you, like as a Native American learning Japanese? It's crazy, right? I mean, if you think it's in the States, it's like if you actually go back to like it's oh my god, what are you doing, what are you learning, so difficult language. So how was it?
Yeah, it was kind of difficult. I think I already had like a somewhat decent foundation before I started with the master course, but
Mm.
like this really like it really like improved on it. Definitely the my pronunciation, like you said, I definitely learned the pronunciation
Mm.
and just kind of like and then it was nice to have that like if I had a question like hey so this is what I've always assumed like with the Japanese language, you know, am I saying this right or wrong? So
Mm.
that was pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Great, great. So, like most of actually American never know what is Japanese language, but let's say maybe Japanese anime is very famous, or maybe martial arts they like, but also they really never try to really learn Japanese. So I think it's most of people think it's a really impossible language or a super difficult language, but now you actually really start speaking with the native people. And what is the advice to them? If somebody are really interesting to learn, but also kind of fear to learn.
It's just like just like any skill, you know, you just gotta work at it. Yeah, like it can definitely be very like frustrating. Like that's why like people that
Mm.
know like multiple languages, I'm like, how do you do it? Like it can definitely be very frustrating. Sometimes you feel like giving up. It's just like you know, Google Translate, you know, it'll
Mm.
help. Um,
Mm.
but definitely you just gotta like keep going at it and just
Mm.
don't give up.
Mm. Amazing. All right, Brandon-san, do you have anything that you wanna speak to our coach or to me or something? Do you have any message or do you wanna say something more?
Just yeah, thank you for taking the time to teach me Japanese. It was like yeah, you guys have been awesome, great help. Yeah, definitely like a lot of the times above and beyond like what I expected. So yeah, it's been really great.
Mm-hmm. All right, thank you so much. So, if you want to change your life with a Japanese speaking skill, seriously, join our master course 2 months. So you can be ready to communicate with Japanese people after 2 months. So, for example, you can maybe make Japanese friends, you can enter the Japanese company, you can try more conversation with Japanese people every day. So that's why your speaking skill grow up every day. So these 2 months, we're gonna make a perfect the foundation of your Japanese speaking skill. Then you can start speaking with Japanese people, real life or social media on Instagram, on Facebook, or anywhere that you can actually have the chance to speak. So if you really want to change your life seriously with Japanese communication skill, speech skill, presentation skill, for the business, for the private, let's join the master course.